Hey, this is Ramon, Channels Alpha 4, and this is the Quran study. This week I have a little problem with my printer. My printer and my computer are no longer talking. So, because of that, I wasn't able to do any scripts for this week. So, I had a question and a challenge in my last video about clothing. I'm going to go for my notebook without refining the notes. You guys don't usually appreciate those videos as much. So what I'm going to do is something I don't normally do. I'm going to read the actual note. So I'm just going to go straight through. Okay. So I'm going to give you the note on the clothing from two different commentaries, or however you want to refer to it. Okay. So this is, we're going to go from Ara. I did like I used to do. We're going to go from ayah 26, but I thought you guys might find this interesting. Let me give you the reading. O children of Adam, we have indeed sent down upon you raiment to cover your nakedness, and rich adornment. But the raiment of reverence, that is better. This is among the signs of God, that happily they may remember. And then from a different translation, O children of Adam, we have indeed sent down to you clothing to cover your shame, and for beauty, and clothing that guards against evil. That is the best. This is of the messages of Allah, that they may be mindful. And now let me give you the note. First, the notes from the study Quran. God sent down upon you raiment may mean that he provided human beings the means with which to make clothing to cover their nakedness. According to Muhammad ibn Jahid al-Tabari, revealed to them after Adam's act of disobedience, or that he decreed or prescribed the wearing of clothing for mankind. According to Z, who is Umar al-Zamakarshi, some commentators invoke the blessing of raiment mentioned here to cascade the pre-Islamic practice of circumambulating the Kaaba in the nude. Going back to Tabari, rich adornment translates rish, which literally denotes the plumage of birds, and metaphorically connotes wealth, finery, beautiful furnishings, and luxurious goods. According to Al-Righib al-Isfani, when used to refer to clothing, it can mean ornamental clothing, especially outer garments that indicate wealth and status, as well as other ornamental items. The verse thus enjoins both clothing that covers one's nakedness and clothing used purely for adornment, indicating that beauty and adornment are a worthy aim. And that is according to R and Z. So that is according to Fakha al-Din al-Razi, and according to Umar al-Zamkashari. The raiment of reverence, libas al-taqwa, is sometimes interpreted as referring to armor worn in battles, since the word for reverence, taqwa, is delivered from a root word related to protection, but it can also refer to the clothing one dons for prayer. Others suggest, and we're going back to R, which is al-Razi, that the raiment of reverence refers to the raiment used to cover nakedness, indicating that the clothing that covers one's nakedness is better than that worn purely for adornment. That's according to R&T. The raiment of reverence is most widely interpreted, however, as referring to a combination of pious qualities, including faith, modesty, righteous deeds, beautiful comportment, and fear of God. And that is according to RT and Z. That together can be said to constitute reverence, taqwa, as the term is used in the Quran. For this reason, Al-Razi maintains that the private parts or shame of believers are always covered, even when they are naked, while those of the profligate are always uncovered, even when they are clothed. And that last one was Al-Razi. And now let's read the commentary from a different Quran. Clothing at first simply served to cover shame. With further progress, men sought to embellish their persons with it. But there is yet a third kind of clothing, says the Quran, which is the best, and that is libas al-taqwa, or the clothing of piety, literally the clothing that guards one against evil. It indicates a further step in the process of man, for virtue is an embellishment of the mind. And when man has seen the good of embellishing his person, he will soon be aware of the necessity of embellishing his mind. So, as clothing covers shame, and clothing is a way of embellishing one's body and therefore embellishing one's mind, that is where, in my notes, I said that clothing could be seen as a punishment versus clothing could be seen as a gift. And I said I was going to do this, so I'm going to do it with this video since we're analyzing it. I want to show the difference between the Quran version of this story and the Christian version. And I'm just going to read the main line, and I'm going to read it from two different translations, the NAB and the CTS. So here we go. The man gave his wife the name Eve, because she was the mother of all living things. The Lord God made for the man and his wife garments of skin, with which he clothed them. Then the Lord God said, "See, the man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil. Now, what if he also reaches out his hand to take the fruit from the tree of life and eats of it and lives forever?" The Lord God therefore banished him from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he had been taken. He expelled the man, stationing the cherubim and the fiery revolving sword east of the Garden of Eden to guard the way to the tree of life. And then let me read a different version. The man named his wife Eve, because she was the mother of all those who live. The Lord God made clothes out of skins for the man and his wife, and they put them on. Then the Lord said, "See, the man has become like one of us, with his knowledge of good and evil. He must not be allowed to stretch his hand out next and pick from the tree of life also, and eat some and live forever." So the Lord God expelled him from the Garden of Eden to till the soil from which he had been taken. He banished the man, and in front of the Garden of Eden he posted the cherubs and the flame of the flashing sword to guard the way to the tree of life. As you notice, the Quranic version and the biblical version of the tale is quite different in contrast, which some of you say it is not. There's proof that it is. That's all that I said. So that explains that note. I thought you guys would find that interesting. I'm going to go ahead and skip my readings for this week, and instead I'm going to leave that there because we're already at the 10-minute mark, and usually these videos are about 15 minutes long, so I won't have time to go through everything and keep this video timely. But hopefully I will have my printer up and running by next week, or I will find a better option. I hope that answers that one verse. I will not be doing this for every verse. I will not be doing this going forward, because then these videos will truly take a long time to come to its conclusion. I am currently at the end of the night journey, but in our readings together, I am right now at the heights. That's where I'm at in my personal readings versus the readings for these videos. And if I started going line by line, it would take forever to get through these videos. So I am just gonna continue with my writing down of notes that I think are interesting. That being said, because my audience is growing, I want to set down some ground rules, and these aren't so much for the audience of these particular videos, but I want the ground rules to be the same across the board, so I'm going to express it to you as well, which is I will be answering questions that I have not answered before. If I've already answered a question in either in a video or in the comments of that video, I will not answer that question again, no matter how many times you ask it in that same video. Also, if you're asking me a question from a previous video that I have answered in that video, I will not be answering the question. If your icon is an egg or a blank icon, in other words, you don't have some kind of image on your icon that shows that you are a member of YouTube, I won't be answering your question. If your comments are trollish, or if your comments are hateful for no reason other than to be insulting, I will not be answering your questions. So that's what I'm going to be doing going forward. So please try to ask questions that are, at least with the initial question that you ask, related to the video we are talking about, and have it be on the subject. If you want to talk about the Bible, please go to one of my Bible videos and talk about the Bible there. A, they can use the views, and B, talk about the stuff that is relevant to that. So if you want to talk about Old Testament stuff, I have plenty of videos out on that. Go to one of those videos and talk about that subject. If I have not broached a subject you want to talk about that's in the Bible, then in these videos is fine to talk about them. But just have it be somewhat at least tangentially related to what we are talking about. Also, I do intend to have some questions for you guys in my Questions For series eventually, but I would like to wait until I finish reading the Quran before I do so. But I might do a part one, if you will, of initial questions that I have. Not so much about the Quran, but maybe more about Islam and those who identify as Muslim in general, as opposed to questions about the Quran, which I would rather save those questions for after I finish reading the entire Quran. If you guys would be interested in having me do that in my Questions For series, let me know, and I'll move that up in my schedule. Also, I will be taking part in a debate with an atheist on religion. We'll be talking four topics. We probably, in all honesty, as we get closer to it, we probably should have just picked one topic and just debated one, but we're going to pick 4. So we'll see how that goes. As part of this, I would like to invite any of you who would like to debate me, because I'm pretty sure there's a few of you. I'm interested in doing so. Just comment down below if you'd like to debate me. The only thing that I ask is that you be willing to show your face, and I will screen you. So I will check out any previous videos you posted, and we will have a pre-interview before we have an on-air interview. I will give you an interview for on-air, and then after that, later on, we can figure out a debate. Now, that doesn't mean that even if you get to that last stage that I am going to select you for a debate. I don't even know how the debates are going to go forward. I haven't even filmed the first one yet. But once the first one's out, if it has a good response, I would like to debate going forward. But at least I can have an interview with someone who actually represents Islam, or at least represents the Quran better than a Catholic can. Right now I have plenty of atheists who are willing to debate and participate. I have one Orthodox Catholic who I will be posting an interview with him later this month, if I can figure out how to edit the video. I'm still learning how to do the recording and the editing for this new venture. That being said, some of my usual regular series are going to have to take kind of a back seat because of the new project that I've taken on, because it's so large. But that being said, I will continue to be making videos. So I will be doing a debate. If any of you want to debate me, either put some information down below so I can get in contact with you. I prefer to do messaging through YouTube and for the initial contact, and be willing to be on camera. For me, you need to be able to speak English, because I don't speak any other language, and I'm going to want to make sure that you actually have ideas that are representative of what you're trying to represent. So if we'll have a screener interview, and we'll just make sure that you're not talking nonsense, that you are talking from the Quran, and that you do have an understanding, and you can speak and hold your points. I'm not interested in embarrassing anybody. So be able to speak English if you want to do this. Have a channel with some videos on it where you are speaking, so I can see what your presentation style is. Have a fair bit of knowledge about the Quran or about Islam, and also please be willing to be on camera and to be interviewed on camera with your face being seen, or at least an icon being seen. And we're trying to have smaller channels to help each other out. If the first debate goes well, we would like to set up a system where different religions and different ideas are debating each other. We're going to start off with religion, but we plan to move on further than just religion, get into some politics or some topics, popular topics that are going on, current topics that are going on. But right now, it's just me and an atheist who are doing this, and like I said, we found one Orthodox Catholic who's willing to participate. We have plenty of other atheists who are willing to do this, but we don't have enough people to set up a bracket system with the number of atheists who are willing to debate. So any Muslim watching this who would like to debate me, who has an understanding of their faith, who has a channel, who is willing to speak on camera, who can speak English fluently, and who has a stable understanding of both their faith and themselves, let me know if you're interested, and we can see if we vibe. Outside of that, next week we will be doing Surah 7, ayah 27 through 73. We're not doing that today because, as I said, my printer is not working, so I could not write a script. Everything that I said was off the top of my head this time. I know you guys don't like those videos as much as the ones that are scripted, but it is what it is. All right. Peace, like, and subscribe. Talk to you all later. Hope you enjoyed this almost a supplemental where I just show you one line and I go through the notes on it. Talk to you all later.